and 111 beautiful beings live. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start by closing our eyes. I need some grounding. We had some stressful tech stuff right before we started, so you all get to ground with me. So close your eyes. Everybody take a breath into your belly. And on your exhale, make a sound. Really exhale and let go. Good. And again, big inhalation into your belly. And exhale. And one more time. Good. And feeling into something that you are grateful for. So opening your heart, finding something you're grateful for. It might be a sunset, it might be your child, it might be the strawberry that you ate this morning. Anything that you feel grateful for. Calling that into your being, letting yourself feel your gratitude, taking it from a thought into a feeling. And now letting go of who or what was creating the gratitude to just let yourself experience the gratitude. And let it fill your body. I am grateful today for this amazing community that we are creating together. This community of beings that are dedicated to freedom, to consciousness, to presence, to play. And I'm grateful to each of you for joining me today. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes and be present here. I believe the art of learning to receive and also learning to release are two of the biggest gifts that we can give to ourselves and that we can give to each other. When we first did the Art of Receiving webcast 28 days ago, October 13th, we explored what it means to really receive, what it means to receive and become full. And what we talked about is that for each of us, there's a tendency that we have, especially as women, to give our energy to other people, to caretake, to fix, to want to make everything okay. And what happens is we get really depleted. And in that depletion, then, it's really difficult for us to both give and receive. What brings us back into wholeness is learning how to get full. And then that fullness comes from allowing ourselves to receive energy, to receive love, to receive gratitude, to first fill ourselves. You know, that great saying that you always hear on the airplanes, put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then assist other people. So learning to receive is about bringing our attention to the inside and listening deeply. What is it that I need? What is it that I can give myself? Sometimes we're afraid to name what our needs are. We don't want to be needy. We don't want to have needs. We don't want to think about needs. We don't want to have to rely on other people. And sometimes we feel like we need other people in order to be whole. So we're out of balance around this idea of need and receiving. So each of us does need community, support, guidance. And we also get to learn how do we fulfill our own needs and how do we name our needs. So this doesn't mean that we don't need anything from anybody, because that's impossible. We're all completely interdependent. So we need people to grow our food, to make our clothing, to fix our roof, whatever it is. We're just the food that we eat involves hundreds, if not thousands of people to bring that to our plate. So there's a lot of intertwining, which is a beautiful thing. What we want to explore is, how do we come back home? And that's really what I think about this warrior goddess path, is really about us coming home to ourselves and start to name what our needs are without expecting other people to fulfill our needs. How do we do that? Because that's what allows us to really release and receive. So the releasing is to be able to name what our needs are and to release that it's anybody else's obligation to fulfill those needs. To let go of our expectations, to release the places where we're saying, I'll only be happy if you do this. I'll only be okay if they do that. That's what we get to release, because those are the places where we're draining our energy, the places we have expectations, the places we have attachments. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. This is a path, but I'm saying it's possible. We must name what our needs are first. So you can't skip this process and go, oh, well, I don't have any needs, it's okay. Or I'm not supposed to have needs, so I won't, because that doesn't really work. What works is to get clear about what our needs are, to be able to state clearly what those needs are, and to let go of how they're going to come back to us. To let go of, it's going to be fulfilled this way. The only way my need can be fulfilled is if it's in this particular form. So the way I think about it is this. We discover what our needs are. We listen to ourselves at depth. We're willing to slow down and listen. What's actually my need? Then once we feel what that need is, then we can ask for that need to be fulfilled. And we also get to explore, what is it that I can bring to myself in this moment to help me with that need? So for example, if I'm feeling vulnerable around something, if I'm feeling shaky and vulnerable around something, and I really need a friend to meet me for lunch, and there's a particular restaurant I really want to go to. So I have a need, and that need is I want to feel held, I want to feel loved, I want to feel seen. And how I'm asking for that need to be fulfilled is to have my friend meet me for lunch. So let's say at the last minute, she can't make it. What am I going to do? So what most of us do is go, oh, well, I don't really deserve it anyway. I can't really trust anybody. How come nobody shows up for me? We have all sorts of stories, or we say, oh, well, I didn't need it anyway. What we can do is come back into ourselves, stop, slow down, and go back to, what is it that I'm needing? I'm needing compassion, or I'm needing advice. And so the next thing to do then is to receive that from ourselves, to ask ourselves, what is it that I can do next step to receive what I'm craving, to release where I think it's going to come from, and open to it may come in an even more amazing way. And also to come back to, what can I give myself now? So it may be, as I listen, I realize, ooh, I'm feeling shaky. And I'm going to go grab a blanket and wrap it around me so I feel like I'm being held. And I'm going to slow my breath down to become present and just hang out with myself for a minute. And then I'm going to open to, is there another friend I can call that would meet me? So then I start looking at, what are my next steps? Receiving and releasing, in a way, really go together. Because for us to truly receive something means that we're not attached to it, like it has to happen. Have you ever noticed that when you really, really want something, especially from somebody else, and then they give it to you, there's a part of our mind that often goes, oh, well, they don't really mean it. Because our need often is so great, and the way we want it to come forward is never quite the way it comes forward. So in order to receive more fully, we want to release our expectations, our attachments. So how the heck do we do that? Because that's a challenging thing to release, to surrender. One of the favorite words during the 28-day giveaway was definitely surrender. There were a couple favorites. I'm going to do a little poll in a minute to just get a taste of what you all think. What was your favorite word? But one of the favorite words was surrender. And the visualization that we did for surrender was so beautiful, of imagining a river and imagining that you're holding a basket of leaves, and that you pick up the leaf and you name what that leaf is, and then you release it, you surrender it to the river. Surrender it to the river. And have you ever noticed that life is like a river? It's always flowing and moving, and we may fight against it. We may try and walk upstream. We may want to dam it up, but the truth is things change constantly. And the more we try and control and fight and fix the way life is, the more that we suffer. The more that we teach ourselves in a really gentle, loving way to let go, to be with what's arising rather than what we think should be happening, to be with the being that we are rather than the being that we think we should be. It's a huge rewiring of our entire system. And again, it's that place of coming back home to ourselves, where we're letting go, we're surrendering up the image from the past. We're surrendering up what we learned, the memories, the story of who we're supposed to be, because that's all about our mind. And you are so much more than just your mind. You are the mystery. You are the goddess. You are pure beingness. You are life. And that can't be named or put into a box or described. It's simply the flow of life moving through you. And each of us is unique. So even the idea that we could compare ourselves to each other is silly, because there's no comparison. We're all completely different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different gifts that we're bringing through. So that's another piece we get to release, is the places where we're constantly comparing ourselves. I should be here. I should be more like them. To let it go. To come back to what is my unique expression, and to surrender everything else. Who we think we're supposed to be, put it in that river. Keep letting it go. Who we wish other people would be, oh, big one. Keep releasing that. Because any place that we're projecting outward, other people should be different, it's not going to happen. People may change. Of course, people change. But what I've noticed is that people change the most when we accept them for who they are, when they feel seen and they feel loved, when they feel supported. And that's how we also change as well. We change when we finally start supporting ourselves, when we start receiving our own acceptance, when we start receiving our own love. And no matter how many people around you accept you or love you, you won't really fully receive it until you bring it to yourself. Now, it's absolutely wonderful to have people that love us, that accept us, that see us. That's vital. I really believe that's an important part of community, is finding and healing, is finding a circle of people that see you for who you are, who want to know who you are, that are curious, that are inviting you forward. And that as you then get that reflection, yes, it's okay to come forward, you start finding out who you are, because you're not trying to fit in or be what you think other people want you to be. That's the gift of community. And that community, that type of unconditional community, is so important, especially when you're in situations where either family or work or old friends see you from the past or see you for who they wish you were. And there's always going to be those people in our lives that want us to be different, or that have an old image of who we've been and take a long time or sometimes never catch up to who we are now. And that's okay. You don't need to fix them. You don't need to convince them. You get to accept where they are and go inside and be on your journey of accepting and discovering and reclaiming who you are. Super beautiful and exciting. So receiving and releasing. And it's not that they're separate things. So I want you to start playing with, I open to receive, to take in the smells, the touch, the taste, the sounds. Open to take in all that's being given to you constantly. Because our world is so full. There's so many gifts that are constantly coming our way. And I know I fall into this sometimes, where I'll be focused on how come it's not going this way, and yet the way it's going or the gifts are right there. Sometimes I'll be fretting about something as I'm like eating something, and the moment I stop and go, wait a minute, can you just enjoy this bite and receive and digest and take in this food? There's always abundance. There's always bounty. Just in the air that we breathe, the sounds around us, the feeling of clothing on our skin, or just touch. Yay! So open to receiving all the gifts that are around. And at the same time, keep letting go. Bringing in and letting go. And this is the natural cycle of life. If you think about waves, there's always the ebb and the flow. There's always the taking in and the letting go, constantly. In the seasons and the cycles of life, there's birth, death, rebirth. There's this constant flow. Just got a question, someone who's in Warrior Goddess Boot Camp right now, and wrote to me this morning and said, I'm trying so hard to be a warrior goddess, but I find that sometimes I get stuck, that sometimes I don't have the energy, that sometimes I get annoyed with my kids or my husband. What can I do? And I just reminded her, there's always going to be days where we have less energy and days we have more energy. Days we feel really clear and days where we feel muddy. And so there are days when we get to let go, we get to release how we were the day before, our expectations of what it should look like, to show up with where we are today. And in that showing up, in that releasing what it should look like, we can then receive the gifts that are here. So for example, if I find myself, so let's use this broadcast for an example. So I had it all set up. I was about to do my meditation, and then we decided the microphone was in the wrong place. And so we started fussing with the microphone, and then I dropped the microphone and thought I broke it. And then my computer ran out of power. It was a fest. A big fest was happening. And I found myself getting more and more irritated and frustrated and tight. And I had to keep coming back to releasing what it's supposed to look like, to just come back to, okay, what are the gifts right now? The gift is how amazing that I get to hang out with you all. So if the text's a little mussy, who cares? It's okay. So if I'm a little late, who cares? The huge gift is that there's this technology that even makes it possible for us to connect in this way. So suddenly that puts everything back in perspective. Instead of focusing my attention on what's going wrong, I open my awareness to focus on what's already right. And that's what I want you to support you in doing in your life as well, everywhere. Instead of focusing with yourself on what's wrong, and we're all really good at that, right? Here's what's wrong with me. This is what I'm not doing right. This is what I should do different. This is how I wish I was like somebody else. Stop it. Stop. Open to what is there to receive right now, and receive your own breath. Receive that you are alive. Receive whatever cool thing is happening around you. Maybe a color, it may be a taste, it may be a sound. Let yourself take it in. And simultaneously in this flow, also ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release? What idea am I holding of what this should look like? Let go. Now, as always, easier said than done, but it's a practice. We practice receiving fully. We practice releasing fully. And that becomes our dance with the world. So the next time that you get stuck someplace that you're frustrated with someone or something, the place that you're struggling with yourself, ask yourself, what can I open to receive in this moment? What's available? What can I bring to myself? And also, what can I let go of? What expectations, sometimes hidden expectations that I had? What are the places that I'm attaching or holding on to the way it should be or the way they should be? Let go. Even just a tiny, tiny increment. And from that then place of I'm open to receive, I'm open to let go, even if you don't know how to do it, let yourself just open. I'm open to receive. I don't know how to receive, but I'm open to learning. That's a door that's open. And the same thing with releasing. You can say, okay, I don't want to release. I want it to be the way I want it to be. I want to keep holding on. And I open to letting go. I open to releasing. And that opening then creates new pathways. What you're doing is you're tapping into the wisdom of your being. Babies, if you watch babies, they know how to receive. If you watch cats, if you watch dogs, they know how to receive. Have you ever played with a dog and they roll over, or a cat and they want you to pet their belly? Or with little kids, how they're just so excited to see you and to receive your love? That's our nature, is that sense of play and awe and curiosity and love. That's our nature. And so as we open again to letting ourselves receive, to taking down the barriers of I'm not lovable, I don't deserve, I'm not enough, I have to first do everything perfect and then I can let myself receive. Stop putting your receiving off. Because that's what we often do, is we say, well, I'll let myself receive when I've done all these things. And that's a trap, because there's always going to be more things. So practice receiving now, practice taking in. It's your nature. And as you open the door to it, your body will remember, oh, right, I know how to receive. I know how to do this. I always invite women that I work with to start, if someone compliments you, instead of going, oh, no, well, it's just this, or no, you don't really mean it, or, oh, well, it was nothing, to practice receiving compliments. Thank you. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to diminish it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just take it in. And start taking in the beauty of the world around you and all the manifestations and all the little ways. There's so much to receive when we open our eyes. And it's the same thing with the releasing. To keep practicing in little ways, letting go. And again, you'll see this in animals and dogs and kids. If an animal is being chased by something, and then it stopped being chased, what it'll do is it'll shake and then it'll go back to normal. It'll totally release the fear. It'll release the chase, and it'll just go back to, okay, now I'm going to go graze. I really believe releasing, letting go is built into our being. We're just now reminding ourselves, okay, sweetie, you can let go. You don't need to hold on. But we're really trained, we're domesticated to attach, that I'm only safe if I have my youth, if I have a partner, if I have the right job, if I look a particular way, if people like me. All of those things are crazy making. So we walk a path of letting go of all expectations, while we also communicate what our needs are and listen for how we can get them met. It's such a paradox, but it's a good paradox to chew on, to sit with, to listen to, that receiving and releasing go together. So I'm going to open it up for questions. I'm going over to the chat. Thank you to Derry. I just popped it. The gift is you, HeatherAsh Amara, for bringing this amazing journey to us and taking us along with you. It's been so fun. I've just been totally loving it. Yeah, stop and focus on the positive. So any questions that you want to share, feel free, or anything that you want to add, go ahead and pop it in now. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to do a poll, which is so fun. So this poll is, if you were on the 28-day journey with me, and I am going to repeat it, I'm going to do it again in December, the same exact journey. So more information on that coming. But for those of you that are on the call or that are listening later that didn't get a chance to do the 28-day journey, I am going to start it again December 3rd, and it'll run through December 31st. How sweet is that? So we can end the year on that 28-day giveaway, and it'll just repeat. And just so you know, I'm also dreaming up a new 28-day giveaway, which is so cool. And that'll be sometime in the spring, probably. So if you didn't do the giveaway, just pick what your favorite word is of the choices. If you did do the giveaway, poll happening now. Which word inspired you the most? I'm loading it. Awesome. And I'm going to make the results public. Start poll. Go. Okay. So if you click over to poll, you will see the poll, and I would like you to select one of those, which is your favorite word, which is the one that most inspired you, that most opened you, that most grounded you. So freedom right now is winning. Let's keep going. Followed by unwind, followed by yes, followed by community. We have 50% freedom. Good. So let's keep that poll going. And then also to chat, Derry writes, this has been a life-changing journey for me because I have 7 children, so I'm always giving and taking myself for granted. So this was really enlightening. Oh, beautiful, honey. Yeah, please don't take yourself for granted. You need to put yourself in the equation and to really start to nourish and feed yourself as much as you nourish and feed your kids. And then I struggle with feeling emotions. How can you feel and release? How long do you feel before you release? Releasing in the moment. Over the past 28 days, I've come far in feeling and accepting, but great question. So, emotional body. So let's talk about that, and then I will go. So that is Alicia, and then we'll see what other questions we have. So emotional body. For each of us, we have 4 parts of ourself: our mental body, our physical body, our emotional body, and our energetic body. And so often we're really out of balance with our emotional body. So what I want us to explore is the difference between your mind and your emotions. So your emotions are simply energy. They They arise, you experience them, and then they'll release on their own if there's not a story involved. So what happens is that we start telling ourselves stories about the emotion, or we tell ourselves a story that creates the emotion. We can actually keep that emotion going forever. So if I'm blaming someone for something that they did, every time I think about them and blame them, I'll have a feeling of resentment, of anger, of frustration, whatever it is. And I can keep that going forever with my thought. It's like the mind pokes the emotional body, and the emotional body has a reaction. And the mind pokes the emotional body, and it has a reaction. So what we need to do is separate out the thought from the emotion. What happens then is that when we have the emotion, we just go into the emotion and experience it. It releases on its own. It may take a little bit, but the difference is when you have an emotion that is from the mind has a story. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just a notice. Then it never feels like it quite releases. It gets stuck. And what it's getting hooked on is that old story. When we're able to start to create some spaciousness so that we give ourselves permission to have the emotion without the story, then it clears. And it might be a lot of emotion, but what happens is that then it releases and we feel more open. We feel more clear because that emotion's been moved through. A lot of the emotional content that we have in our being is not about the present. It's about things that have happened in the past. So we must be willing to go back and look and clean up our past. So that's a short answer to a much larger question. And it's one that I will talk about more in depth in a series that I'm doing. So I'll talk a little bit about this 5-part series that I'm doing, which we will work with the emotional body in that. Okay, let me go pick one more question. Let's check our poll first. So our poll, 55 freedom, 13 unwind, 13 community, and 19 yes. Isn't that fun? Okay. Yeah, exactly. As a mother of 6, she says it's hard to know that you're anything other than mom. And it's really important to remind yourself to release the role. It's part of releasing too for all of us, releasing the roles that we carry. You know, if you're a cop, if you are a mother, if you are a lawyer, if you are a daughter, whatever the role is, we then get trapped in the role rather than being ourselves. So we want to keep releasing the roles to listen to, who am I now? What is it that I need? What is it that I desire? Give yourself permission to have those desires and needs and find ways to fulfill them, to then receive, to take in. Sometimes you have to ask. You know, sometimes you can ask your partner, your kids, your boss, your friends. That's scary because they might say no. But it's also incredibly liberating to name what your need is and then to be creative in how you get that met. It's fun. So Danielle, I really am a positive, realistic person, and my daughter is psychologically ill, and I've lost my job and income. I'm living on next to nothing but keeping the faith. I'm truly not down. I believe we'll work out in the end. Do you think that's insane? It's just my belief. No, I don't think that's insane, sweetie. So I'm sure a lot of people are going, this is the worst thing. How are you doing it? Keep coming back to that faith because it will work out. And you may not see how it's going to work out, but the more you're able to hold faith in the positive, the more that you'll stay open to possibilities. And so it's scary. And also give yourself permission. If the truth is you're scared or you're upset or you're freaked out, give yourself permission to have that as well. And then go back to your positivity. Okay, so sometimes we want to be mindful that we're not just going, I have to be positive, I'm supposed to be positive. We want to see, okay, if there's a part of me that's really scared, let me just experience that, hold that part of myself, and then go back to, and this is where what our direction is. So there's a place where we might need to release some fears and receive the gift of our faith. So just open, be curious about that. Okay, so one more. Leanne, I love telling my stories each day for each word with all of you. I have uncovered parts of myself that let me know that I'm a great storyteller, and I've really learned a lot from Warrior Goddess. This exciting stuff happens in ourselves with community to share ourselves with. Yeah. And I just have to say again, for those of you that have been on Warrior Goddess Tribe and have been sharing, amazing, truly amazing. So when we share our stories and our stories are received, we can then let them go. When we share our experiences and we're around other people that have similar experiences, then there's that sense of, yes, we're on this path together. And it's so, so beautiful. So I want to share some things that I've been dreaming up over the last couple days. And it's so interesting because when I did the 28-day, I didn't really think about how much work it was going to be. And it was immense. There was a lot that went into making that happen. And all I was thinking of, like, this is going to be so cool. And it was super cool. But there were also many, many nights of 3 a.m. in the morning, getting up to post things, to do the audio, to do the graphics. There was a lot of thought that went into it. And as we started getting towards the end, I started realizing, okay, now I can look at what's next. I couldn't even look at what might be next. So this morning and yesterday, I started seeing, ooh, here's what's next. And I'm really excited about it. So I want to share with you what's coming up next. One is that the energy that we're building together is so powerful and so potent. I want to keep it going. So what I'm going to start doing is doing a podcast, an audio recording once a week, and a blog based on a word, based on a theme. And so that'll go out to the Warrior Goddess page. It'll be on the website. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do the podcast yet, but I'll let you guys know. I have to look at the tech around that. But that'll happen weekly. And yay! And then we also have, I'm creating a 5-part online course, which I'm calling Warrior Goddess Foundations. And it is, I'm going to go grab this offer. Where is it? Online Foundations. Bloop. Load. So you should see this offer. There we go. So Warrior Goddess Foundations online course. If you go to offers, you'll see it there. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what the vision is. So I'm going to share my screen. So hang on with me. And before I share my screen, I want to say this. I'm going to share a couple of offers that are coming up, which are super exciting. And I'll share more about the weekly theme that'll keep all of us going. That'll be so cool. And I also have this amazing video I want to share with you. So I'm going to do that at the very end. So hang in with me. We're going to be at probably 10 more minutes and awesome video coming and more cool stuff. Yay. So special offer number 1. Boop, Foundations class. Okay, sharing my screen now. Present to everyone. So this is the latest creation. It's an online course by phone. And so everything will be recorded. And this is the thing that I love about the online work, is that you have the option to do it live if you can come on live. And if you can't, you can listen to the recordings. And you can listen to the recordings as many times as you want, because sometimes you can't capture all of it. So 5-part series, The Art of Reclaiming Your Warrior Goddess Sass. Super fun. It's going to be Monday evenings starting November 16th. So that's next Monday. And it'll run for 5 Monday evenings at 8 p.m. Central. Early bird special, $39. And after November 14th, it's $49. So that's that. So we're going to continue to grow the community. And in this series, what we'll be doing is going through each of the aspects of ourself: mental, emotional, physical, and energy bodies. We'll be going through the Warrior Goddess training as well, of looking at each of the lessons and how we can integrate them. And with all of my classes, I am a super practical girl. So I'm going to look at how do we take the teachings and help you integrate them in your life. So we'll be doing different ways of sharing with each other, different practices, different visualizations, so that you can make it your own, so that you can bring it into your life. So the next special, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, is this. bonus special. We just thought of it today. Thanks, Christy. So some of you have heard about, and some of you are signed up for my Warrior Goddess training, which is a 9-month circle that starts in January. And for the women that are already signed up, wanted to let you know that you'll be getting this 5-part series that I just talked about, this foundation series, The Art of Reclaiming Your Warrior Goddess Sass, for free. That's part of the package. So for those of you that want to go deeper with me, that you are ready for big transformation, you're really ready to reclaim your life, your authenticity, to say yes to yourself. This 9-month program starts January 27th, runs through September, and here's the super fabulous special. If you sign up for the series, for the 9-month program, in the next few days, you'll get the 5-part series for free, and you'll also be part of this new Year and a Day series that I'm creating. So Year and a Day will be short weekly podcasts and daily inspirations to keep you on track. So there'll be really little reminders. And that's what I've seen is so important, is that it's very easy for us to get off track. And that's why the 28 giveaway was so beautiful, is because every day we had a teaching to keep us focused. So a Year and a Day will combine audio once a week and a theme for the week with little bitty inspiration every day. So it's really simple to do, but it'll help keep you on track. That eventually will become a membership program that will probably launch December or probably January. But if you sign up for the 9-month Warrior Goddess training, you'll get both the 5-part series, 5-part foundations class that starts in November, as well as a Year and a Day. And you will be in the, what I would call the inner circle. I'll run a lot of different specials. You guys will get first dibs on things. You'll also get discounts on things like Teotihuacan. So let me go here, 2016 online circle. So if you go to warriorgoddess.com, you'll see foundations classes right here. Warrior Goddess online circle is right here. This is the 9-month program. So here's all the details about it, what you get, and it's phenomenal. We have our own website. There's a lesson every week. And our focus is really around releasing old ancestral and familiar patterns, clearing self-doubt, reconnecting your voice, working with sexual and that fiery energy that you are, reclaiming your pleasure, and really attracting what you want. We'll go through each of the lessons. And the dates are included. So those are the dates. So if you pay in full for this, it's $12.99 in full or $119 monthly. So I'm going to go back to the offer. So first offer is our Warrior Goddess Foundations online course. So that, if you want to jump in and do that, $39 through November 14th. All the classes will be recorded, and we'll have a Facebook page that's just for that particular group. So that's a great way to continue on with the learning and with the community. You can just punch register now and it'll take you right there. The other offer, let me do the second offer. I think I have to remove this one. Bloop. Bye-bye. Is the Warrior Goddess offer. And I have 2 options with this. We can pay in full, and the pay in full is $12.99 again. And that's for the 9 months of the program, and then the Year and a Day. So it's really a year of worth of teachings, a year of support. And the reason that I called it a Year and a Day is because in a traditional apprenticeship, there'll be a lot of really beautiful pieces that will be part of a Year and a Day. So, and Warrior Goddess training is that 9-month program that goes through each of the lessons. So you can either pay in full, and there's the link for that, or you can, oops, let me get the other one, pay by subscription. So this is what the subscription is. Load. Oh, it's not loading. Subscription There we go, display offer. Yes, subscription now. So there's that part. Okay, so let's open to see if there's any questions, and then I'm going to start playing this video, which is so beautiful. I can't remember who shared it, but wow, it is a gorgeous video. So going back to the chat. Oh, I love this idea. I so greatly enjoyed this 28 days. I plan to write interesting words on slips of paper, and I'll pull one each day or every other day, and we'll continue this wonderful practice. That is great. Beautiful. And I'll be also listing, there are different warrior groups that are starting to happen. So I'll be posting those warrior goddess groups in the book clubs. And also I've just trained a group of teachers. So there are now warrior goddess facilitators that are also teaching in their communities. So we'll share where that is happening. So that's something beautiful as well. Okay. Any other questions or comments? And I think I'm going to have to create a last audio for the 28 days. I feel like I'm not quite ready to let that go yet. So see what happens. So here is our fabulous video that we'll close with. And again, I want to thank each of you for being on the Warrior Goddess journey. I would love for you to continue with me in any way, or to continue on your own. Find community. Community is key, really. As women, there's so many things that we're unweaving right now. We are unweaving our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our sisters, our relationship with men, our relationship with work. There's so many ways that we are in big transformation as women right now, and we're really being called on to become leaders, to let our voice come out. We are needed. And so all of the work that we're doing together helps to heal everyone. So important. So get support. We need that community to hold us as we're undoing and finding our own stability. Jessica, thank you for your generosity and teaching and sharing with us. I'm extremely grateful for all that you do. You are so welcome. I'm really honored to get to share this work. And there's nothing more than I love than having a tribe, than having community. So I hope you continue to come play with me, because it just gets better. It gets deeper and richer. And the more that we shed all those old layers, and I'm on this journey with you, the more that we can bring our light out. And so if you feel inspired to continue, please do the 5-day series or do the apprenticeship circle, the 9-month. It's going to be phenomenal. And you will be so well supported over this year. And you will come out a completely different person. You'll become, I shouldn't say it that way. You'll come out you. That's the cool thing. You come out as yourself fully, more radiantly, more present. So if you think the 28-day was transformational, woo, wait for the 9 months, because there's a deep reweaving and rewiring that we all do together. All right, here's this phenomenal video. Let's see if this works. Hi, Asia. Yay, hi, Deanna. So video coming, and then once the video is complete, I'll come back and say goodbye. But let me say goodbye now in case the video doesn't work. And if the video doesn't work,